Greetings, everyone. My name is Father Bobby John, CSC, a priest of the Congregation of Holy Cross. I serve as the National Co-Director of Holy Cross Family Ministries in the United States, based at Father Peyton Center in northeastern Massachusetts. It's a joy and privilege to be with you today and to share the gospel reflection for this 28th Sunday in Ordinary Time. I am told that there is a fascinating phenomenon in emergency medicine called walkaway syndrome. Patients arrive at the hospital in critical condition. They receive life-saving treatment and then mysteriously vanish the moment they feel better. Sometimes still wearing hospital gowns, IV tubes, dangling from their arms. They literally walk away from their own healing as if getting well was somehow embarrassing. The 10 lepers in today's gospel suffered from a different kind of walkaway syndrome, but infinitely more tragic. They walked away from the very person who had just handed them back their humanity. The geographical detail in Luke's account of the gospel is crucial. 10 men were heading away from Jesus when they were healed. Only one reversed course. That U-turn wasn't just physical, it was existential. He alone realized that receiving a miracle while walking away from the miracle worker is like finding a treasure map and immediately burning it. Think about the irony. These men had spent years perfecting the art of shouting, "Unclean, unclean," to warn people away, living in the margins, surviving on scraps tossed from afar. And suddenly they are clean, able to embrace their children again, return to synagogue, rejoin the human community. And what do the 9 of them do? They maintain their practiced distance from the very one who ended their exile. But the Samaritan, the beautiful Samaritan, he breaks every protocol. He doesn't just return. He throws himself at Jesus' feet in what must have been the most undignified, glorious, scandalous display of thanksgiving imaginable. A grown man, newly cleansed, publicly prostrating himself in the dirt, weeping gratitude all over the feet of a Jewish rabbi. And here is what makes the story electrifying. The other 9 men thought they were free, but they were still prisoners of their old reflexes. They received new skin, but kept their old souls. The Samaritan alone understood that healing without gratitude is just sophisticated leprosy. You look normal on the outside, but you are still spiritually numb. Oscar Wilde once said, "When I think of all the books still left for me to read, I am certain of further happiness." The Samaritan had that same revelation about Jesus. When he looked at this miracle worker, he didn't see the end of his story. He saw the beginning of an entirely new chapter he couldn't wait to read. The other 9 rushed back to their old lives. The Samaritan discovered an entirely new life he never knew existed. They got their bodies back, but the Samaritan, he got his soul back. But gratitude changes everything. Even modern science affirms it. Grateful people sleep better, they laugh more, and carry less bitterness. But Jesus goes further. He says, gratitude doesn't just make you healthier, it makes you holier. Sometimes children get this better than adults. A little girl once prayed before dinner, "Thank you, God, for mashed potatoes, even though Mommy burns them sometimes." That's real gratitude. It sees the gift even with its imperfections. Or think of the remarkable story from the Second World War. A group of prisoners in a concentration camp secretly celebrated Christmas. They had no bread, no wine, not even a candle. One man whispered the words of the gospel, another hummed a carol, and they passed around a crust of stale bread as their Eucharist. Later, one man who survived, he said, "That night, in the cold and dark, I felt more blessed than ever before because I realized that even in suffering, we still had something to thank God for." Dear friends, gratitude doesn't erase pain, but it transforms it. And this is the power of gratitude. It doesn't just thank God for what He does, it transforms how we see who He is. Gratitude turns healing into salvation, bread into Eucharist, sorrow into hope. And so we return to the Samaritan. The other 9 received their health. He received salvation. They walked away from their miracle. He walked toward the miracle worker. And in that return, that beautiful reversal of direction, he discovered the truth. Gratitude is in the end of the story. It is where all the best stories truly begin. Have a blessed day ahead.